G'day and welcome back to Stitch Up and another episode of Planet Coaster. This is our Thames Valley Studios and this is episode 5. So in this long running series we are creating a slightly British theme park, and we've had the first four episodes. We have created a fantastic car park and entrance area, as well as a lovely flat ride as well. Check out that in episode 3 and 4. This episode, in episode 5, what we'll be doing, as you can see, is creating a coaster. Of course, this is going to be a wooden coaster. So what I wanted to do is I wanted something that could you walk in, you kind of see the coaster. I like the idea that you see it from the car park. I want the coaster to interact with the car park as well, and we do get there with that. More to come on that in the rest later on in the episode. But I wanted a little bit of a show piece where a bit of height. We are going to be having some skyscrapers and a bit of a cityscape happening as well as the park progresses, but I just wanted to get us an instant bit of height, a little bit of floor space taken up, and so we've got a massive wooden coaster. Of course, wooden coasters in the real world, yeah, they do get this big. They probably don't have this much cladding down the bottom. This looks like it's got about 30,000 wooden supports underneath it, wooden coasters can be very big. And I did want this to feel a little bit like a mountain. So what we do is we have a few iterations of the coaster. We end up changing the coaster quite a bit throughout the basic format, the basic shape, the out and back formats that we end up running with. That all stays about the same, but we end up just making some changes due to adding some block sections. And of course, we do add a very small second lift hill. So what we wanted to do is I've got these 1, 2, 3, about 5 or 6 sort of show buildings. These are the old sound stages that would have been here before the park was developed. That's the theory behind it. And so we have these, and this coaster interacts with those. Now, of course, we would not be filming in those in this theme park. Some theme parks have active studios within them integrated. One of them would be Movie World on the Gold Coast in Australia, where there's active studios that film, Pirates of the Caribbean films there while the theme park is running. But of course, it isn't exactly part of the park. It's right next door, and there's very good soundproofing and all that sort of stuff that happens. Of course, you wouldn't be allowing the coasters to go so close to an active soundstage because it is all about the sounds, but what we're saying here is that these sound stages might have been decommissioned or recreated or moved there indeed if this is where the theme park was. Of course, the Thames Valley Studios is a fictional park based on the Isle of Dogs, the geographical shape of the Isle of Dogs in London, and you can see that throughout the I guess the first episode is when we shape out the Thames. You can see here I've actually started to integrate the particular track. I like that it gets up to the roof, and that if you're scared of heights and you're on the top of this massive wooden supports, then I like that some people might be slightly placated by the fact that you're only 2 or 3 meters above a roof as opposed to 30 or 40 meters dropping down. And of course that big lift hill is probably about 100 meters. We start into the second part here, so I did want it to be able to go through these particular sound stages. We are interacting with them and going through them. I do move one of the sound stages a little bit later, and by the way, these are all just kind of templates. These sound stages will be individualized in my own time, not on screen, but you'll see that the numbers of them will change. The colors might slightly change. Probably even the format of them will slightly change, but I just wanted to get a bit of block work out where we can have some fire escapes and just I don't want them to look too repetitive, but of course in Planet Coaster, if you're going to repeat a building and then make variations, you really do use a template format. So of course we're doing the typical out and back structure of the wooden coaster here. This coaster is actually, I can't remember the name of it. It is a Zephyrus, I believe. I can see the name on screen there, but I'm just having a bit of a look. Anyway, it's one of the coasters, one of the 3 traditional wooden coasters, not a hybrid coaster. I do end up changing the color of it as well. We had just wasn't quite sort of settled on the color, and we did make some changes a few times, but I think I've now settled on kind of a very white, off sort of very light grey, off-white painting of all the wooden structure, and then just a yellow capping of the particular rails, and I guess the safety rails. So the whole top part of the profile of the coaster is pretty much that. And of course, the theming of the coaster is cool, because what we're actually doing here is we're really pushing our luck. Actually, what we're doing is we're calling this well, at the moment the working title for this coaster is going to be Route 39. And we can talk more about Route 39, but this is about a basically not a coaster but a train that is a runaway train and crashes through some structures and stuff. So we'll be creating the runaway train effect in the line. Pretty soon we'll actually leave the coaster, and what we'll do is in the end of the episode we'll have a lovely little live play where we can come back and ride the coaster. What I am also trying to do is run 2 trains. I'm just playing around with the size of the trains. I've set a 40-second delay gap, so we do run some tests here, but there's a bit of a 40-second gap, so one train will leave the station and then the other one will come back into the station. The other one won't leave the station until at least 40 seconds after, so that splits the 2 trains out pretty well. And I think at the moment we're looking at about 5 carriages. I think you get 4 in each of the carriages. We'll have a little look in the live play as well, and we'll ride this one. Going into the sound stages and coming back out of the sound stage just for the final brake run. The final brake run of this is slightly non-traditional. These usually have a pretty calm and nice long brake run where you can kind of all look at each other and and do that, but you know, and rate the coaster and get all excited. But in this one, you go into the show building, you come out of the show building, and then you're back into the station. You come around a corner underneath the original second phase of the run, and then you're back into the station. So it is meant to give thrills on the first time round, and also give people a chance to be quite excited about that sort of thing, you know, and want to get back on the coaster as well. And when I actually put together these paths as well, the queue line and the path, I put them next to each other because I want people to jump straight off and go, wow, we're going again on that one. I've gone for a slightly 1950s, really basic, I guess 1950s inspired path. I really love the way the path has come up. Actually, I've made coasters. I'm not amazing at coasters, but I can make them, and we might have a look at the ratings of this coaster when we have a look in the live play section. But one thing to note is the path, the building that we create around the station. That's okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think it serves its purpose. I think the idea is for it to sink into the background, because the decoration that we put on about the runaway train, that was on Route 39, that's the one. It's the real showpiece. And of course, I've just what I was saying there was that I'm very happy with how the queue came out as well. Just seems to be quite kind of just come out really nice. So please let me know on your thoughts on that one. Of course, we want the other thing to note is this big wooden coaster, and wooden coasters are rattly. They're noisy, and there's a hotel right in front of it, and of course this is an active working hotel in the lore of this park. So how does that work? Well, my theory is that hotels during the day in theme parks or next to theme parks, of course, those hotels aren't really that active and that full, and people aren't in them. They're in the theme parks. So the theory would be at night time you've just got this beautifully lit up park. Of course, if you want to have a peaceful sleep and go to bed at 2 in the afternoon, you're probably not going to stay in that particular hotel. You're going to stay one that's off site. But this is a very on site hotel. This one is actually in the theme park, not next to the theme park, which is slightly atypical. But yeah, you can actually see that but here comes the pathing, and we go with a bit of symmetricality with this lovely kind of wooden, slightly angled wooden queuing, and just on 2 levels. So you do have a raised section and then you have a lower section. And I guess the idea is when we start to theme this up with the train that was on the unfortunate Route 39, what we end up doing is giving some viewpoints where people can grab their phone as they're in the queue and take photos in front of the train. And the idea is that the train is meant to be a real impact from the very front as you get onto the queue line. But then when you're in the queue line, the idea is for the train wreck to be visible, and for you to see lots and lots of different angles as you progress through that line. I didn't want to overplay my hand on the interacting with the queue and the train wreck as well, so I'll show you where I've placed that. It's I think it's in a nice spot that allows people to get lots of selfies and have a look at the train wreck and see how it was all reproduced. But of course, it's meant to be impactful from the very right here at the entrance, which we're just putting together the so-called entrance and exit for the ride Route 39. So that is wonderful. Thames Valley Studios is coming along. We are going to be crossing the river soon. We're going to be putting in some tall ships and some sailing ships. A little quay area is going to be coming in, I think, in the next episode. And of course, we're going to start working on some skyscrapers as well. So there's lots and lots of things to happen in Thames Valley Studios. And of course, we'll pick this up. And we have had a little break from playing this. It has been a busy time changing jobs. And yes, now we have some time to jump back on and pick up Thames Valley Studios. So please leave your comments as well as we go along. If you have a YouTube channel and you want a shout out, you're welcome to reach out to me or leave it in the comments, and I will take those on face value. And if you're a YouTuber who is trying to sort of get going and you want a little shout outs and you play these games as well, I'm more than happy to do that. People did that for me and it's been fantastic. So just about Stitch Up as well, if you're new to the channel and you haven't sort of seen too much. Stitch Up we play Factorio. We are playing Factorio at the moment and absolutely loving that one. We also play Voxel Tycoon, probably our main game that we play on Stitch Up, and that is a lovely kind of indie game in sort of pre-alpha and just in development over the last couple of years. What else do we do? Oh yes, City Skylines. Of course, we'll be diving into City Skylines with the new Airports DLC, so probably have a new series coming up for that one. And Dyson Sphere program is on the radar as well, so is Airport CEO and Kingdoms and Castles. And of course, Planet Zoo is on the it's in the mind at the moment, so we're going to be moving to Planet Zoo at some stage as well. But of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves. On screen we have just the top of the station building. So the station building's meant to look a little bit kind of not fire station, but just a bit kind of city, a bit sort of middle of the road, nothing special. What we ended up going with is a meshed roof, so it's a little bit open to the elements. Some nice support structures there. I actually used this sort of concrete capping and doubled it up, and these look like giant kind of wooden beams. They can be concrete beams with maybe a kind of wooden effect on them, I guess, and that would work quite well because I think you'd need a concrete structure between those runs. They look sort of 30 or 40 meters across. It's quite a big station building. I did put the station building up a couple of meters in the air as well, and of course it is just a giant rectangular box, and I got sick of that, so I changed the 3 windows at the front. If you can see, the 5 windows at the back are symmetrical and line up perfectly with the geometry of the building, but the 3 windows at the front don't because they interact with the queues. And so that did my head in. And so what I've done is I've just at the end of this, I'd create a secondary kind of sub part of the building where I can put the signage for ladder 30 sorry, not ladder 39, for route 39. And what we can what we end up doing is just making a slightly better use of that space, slightly unsymmetrical, and just a little bit more of a it's in these little spaces in the building where you'd think this is where all of maybe the hydraulic fluids are kept for the track, and the service trains are kept in the track. The spare trains might be kept in there, and I think I will at some stage try and run a secondary train track next to it where we can run them out and into a service shed. I'd like to be able to do that. I think this is a good area to do it. I just need to work out exactly how to do that, and I think I just put in a second ride that's very similar with just the start and a little bit of track on it, and maybe maybe just kind of if I can get like a couple of roller coaster cars, a couple of the cars to sit there, that would be really cool. I'd like the idea that we could sort of see that. But if you've got any tips on how you think I can do that, please leave those in the comments as well. But yeah, we're just having a look here at some scenery and playing around with some scenery, of course, and then the inspiration for the ride, of course, was our lovely train. So changing up the train, what I wanted to do with the this particular train is just get it some very metro colors. So we're talking that kind of silver, trying to change up and put a little bit of color in there. So we tied in some yellow frames, and no, I end up lightening the frames again actually, but I'm just trying to tie it all in quite with the tracks a bit there. Considered some yellow on the underside of the train, but we're going with a nice dark color, and I think it all comes out pretty good. Yeah, you can kind of see how the train's looking, and I'm very kind of happy with how that kind of looks. And then what we do is we grab the train and we duplicate it. It is good because they look like carriages, but they also look like the the drive engines of these kind of carriage trains. So you can imagine that 5 or 6 of these join together and it's come off the rails, and that's all pretty good. One thing we don't do in the episode, but just so you know, is I will be adding some support. I want the train to, everything's meant to be like it could be. So, in Planet Coaster, I like a bit of realism. And so we are playing with fantasy a tiny bit. I mean, this is a very expensive ride to create in real life, but the theming is right up there. This is an actual, someone looks like they've got rolling stock from an actual train and use these, and that's what's good about Planet Coaster. You don't have to worry about the budget, do you? You just go ahead and build. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed that. We are now going to jump into the Let's Play, the live play series of this Let's Play, episode 5. We're going to jump into the live section and have a ride of the coaster. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay guys, so yeah, I hope you like the look of that. The support structures for the train is yet to come, as we said, but yeah, I hope you like the look of the line and how everything's starting to look. I'm very happy with that. Let's jump on and have a ride of the train, and we can see how we go. So we'll go into test mode. In fact, let's go to open mode. No, let's go to test mode and jump onto one of the rides. So we're just here. So this is seat, what is this, seat 1, and we can just see about this here. Should we go back a bit? Train 1, car 2, and car 3. Yeah, we could do that. Have a look around, see the people in front of us. Let's go to the front again. So yeah, going up the lift hill, and we'll be able to see that. Let's see if we can see around to the park. We can kind of look around a little bit. Might even go into the cinematic view at some stage. But yeah, I do like the look of the yellow track infrastructure. We've got the rails up above. We might get rid of some of these rails. I've been toying with some of these, getting rid of some of these. In fact, some of them are removed in the second and third parts of the track. We'll see those as we come past. And moving into the first lift hill, bit of an overview of the park there. You get to look back over towards the entrance, which I like. Nice head chopping moment. And it's all tarmac at the moment, so I think once we soften all that up, soften the tarmac up, and put some planting in, I think that could be good. I do want the Thames Valley Studios to be lush. A bit of smoothing out here. I did put a brake run on that previous hill at some stage. We do click in, but I've taken the brake run off anyway. We shouldn't have any brakes there. I think we want plenty of speed. Yeah, let's just jump back and see a few of these. Do the interest. There we go. That's a nice one. That's a lovely one actually. Let's do that. So here it's kind of coming off a nice little hill, just a little bit of a hill there to get a bit of speed here. This is a I like the idea we can do stuff up here as well. This could be really cool. I think something up here could be lovely. Up on the roof, little scene maybe. Yeah, it could be. I think some little scene up there could be really nice. Just need to think about the theming. It's going to be obviously the runaway train theme. Yeah, we'll see about it. Don't want to overdo the theming on this. Not meant to be hugely themed up. Whoa, there we go. That's it. There you can see here the coasters running there. It's going quite nice. Oh, I think we're just... Let's go up above it. There we are. That's a nice little one there. It's like a drone flying over the top of it. A support structure hanging over there. I like that. Hugging this one is nice. I think we fluked that, to be honest. And then coming back in here. It's not a long coaster. I don't think it is, about a minute and something, I think. I think it's too long. That's a tight curve there. And you do sort of, you know, you are being flung around and all of a sudden you come around the corner outside and you're there again. So I think that's good. Yeah, happy with that at the moment. So yeah, guys, that was the coaster there, and yeah, the particular one is a Zephyrus one. So when we started off with coasters, and I went to wooden coasters here, and we go to custom. It was meant to be wooden coaster, sorry. I just go there. Zephyrus is this one here. Slightly older looking coaster out of the three traditional woodens. And yeah, that's brilliant. But yeah, we will be getting lots of other things in the park as well. So you can see here there's lots of lush greenery. This is how the Thames Valley Studios, this is kind of how it's meant to be. And then of course as you come around, so let's see about it. Start off in the car park. You go in the car park there, you walk around to this little entrance area, and of course haven't really finished it up just yet, but of course you come around here and do you? Yeah, you do. You come into here and you enter. Go through here, buy your tickets, and you come out here, and you're in the park. When you come in the park, of course, the idea, of course, these are meant to be sort of props from particular movies, and that's why they're up in the little stages. You've got a little tank there as well, and of course, there's a lovely, just a lovely view there over the Thames and back onto the Isle of Dogs, where we'll be able to see. I imagine the skyscrapers will all be here, and there's going to be some rides interacting with the skyscrapers. And of course, we're going to start to create some buildings that are in London as well. So I want to start to create is it one? I can't remember what the name of it is. The the one in the Docklands with the pyramidal roof. Number one. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, we're going to create that one there as a bit of a landmark. You know, and it's not a recreation or anything like that. Some docks in the middle maybe as well, but yeah, you can sort of see here, you go through, this is all quite lush. I like all the planting, and we created this building from scratch. Go back and check out episode 1 and 2, you can see there. But yeah, I do like that. Come into here and we've got a lovely sort of square, nice planting there, nice water tower. And you can see here, this is very kind of some of the buildings here, which is nice. You got the hotel, which is our Brutalist Hotel. Sorry, just losing the controls there. It's our Brutalist Hotel, which we created, I think, very early on. I spent an episode creating a Brutalist Hotel based on the Barbican in London. as inspiration. And yeah, oh, that wall probably needs fixing at some point. Now that we have a structure where we can look down onto it, that sort of, down from the ground, that kind of works. But then above, you look at that and think, nope, that wouldn't be like that, even in a theme park. Yeah, nice sort of pond. And of course, the idea is you come round the corner in the little square. Yep, you're down here. Come around the corner. You've got the flat ride there, but just beyond it, you've got this lovely Route 39 coaster, and people will be going up to that. So it's absolutely fantastic. I love that. I think it's really cool. Yeah, I'll be theming a lot of this up in between the episodes. Yeah, this is cool. You come around and see that. I think that kind of works. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Planet Coaster. The series is Thames Valley Studios. I'm Stitch Up. Don't forget to leave your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And I'll see you in the very next episode of Planet Coaster. Cheers.